Today's episode is brought to you by Nomad, voted the Flathead's best manufacturer. Nomad is a longtime supporter of the local community and sports scene, celebrating 20 years of building great careers in mission-focused custom vehicles. Nomad, a Montana-based company making a global impact. Visit nomadgcs.com for more info. That's nomadgcs.com for more information. Welcome back to another episode of the Interlake Sports Now. I'm Josh Dugan, and thank you as always for checking out this week's show. We'll start this one out with a little local golf headline, then jump to some Montana Grizzly football news, and wrap this thing up with a look at how the Glacier Range Riders fared since our last episode. Plus, we have one other little college football Frontier Conference / XFL piece of news in there we're going to sprinkle in, so we'll get to that as well. Let's start it out with some golf action as Glacier High golf product and Montana Tech golf commit Tyler Avery won the Montana State Juniors Golf Championship last week by nailing a two-putt birdie on the 18th hole at Helena's Bill Robert Municipal Golf Course to shoot a 68 last Tuesday with a two-day total of 134 at 10 under par. Here's a quote from Avery recapping that last shot that helped seal that Montana State Juniors title. Pretty impressive stuff. Kudos to Avery. Let's get to that quote. Quote, I had to hit it from between two trees from about 180 yards out with about 10 to 12 feet in between. Just hit it right through them, and it left me with a 30-footer, and I knew I just needed to two-putt it. That was the shot I've been waiting for all year, coming down to the wire and pulling it out when you need it. Gotta love that quote from Avery there. That's what it's all about as a competitor, putting yourself in a position to succeed when it matters most. That's what you trained for. That's what you're on the course for. And he said it in the quote, but, Avery came up clutch when it mattered most to nail down that Montana State Juniors title. So major kudos to Tyler Avery. Avery did win the 2020 State Juniors title in Bozeman and was 6th in the 16 to 18 flight in 2021. And he was 17th last season in Laurel. Kalispell Sam Ingleant, took 10th in the 16 to 18 flight, and his Glacier High teammate Trevor Cunningham shot 145 to finish 2 strokes behind Corvallis' Brady Powell in the 14 to 15 flight. Polson's Maxwell Milton won the 13 to 14 flight, and Whitefish's Finley Ross was 5th. So kudos to all of our local golfers who were competing. Last year's juniors champ was Whitefish product Billy Smith. Gotta love that. A lot of great golf action in the Valley, no doubt about it. So cool to see it translate at the state level in competition. Let's jump in to some Montana Grizzlies news, starting with a sports brief from the Interlake last week about the Montana Grizzlies and the construction of their new Grizzly indoor practice facility, which is going to be the first of its kind in the state. So a first of its kind structure in the state coming from the University of Montana Athletic Department. The Grizzlies hope to have the facility ready for use this fall, but Grizzlies Athletic Director Kent Haslam told 406sports.com that the facility, which is over 100,000 square feet, will likely open in December due to some delays from permitting issues with the city of Missoula. So we'll be on the lookout for that. Haslam said the issue is between OZ Architect campus facility employees and the city of Missoula, and noted Tuesday that construction was going to restart in the coming days. So hopefully they'll have that ready, December, perfect timing to have an indoor facility when that Montana winter starts really hitting full effect mid-December. Montana has long practiced outdoors generally inside Washington Grizzlies Stadium and often through snow and cold as the season stretches into November. That's going to be clutch moving forward. The football team might not have it this year, but other sports will benefit. The $10.2 million facility is located on the southern side of the River Bowl Fields and is set to serve all of UM's athletics, as I mentioned. So that's awesome. If you're a potential prospect looking for a college to go to and you see the University of Montana has a first of its kind indoor facility, that's a nice piece in recruiting and just a great piece for all those Montana athletes. So some more Griz football news. This one was not a surprise to me. All-purpose playmaker Junior Bergen was recently named to the Athlon Sports FCS All-America team as a punt returner a few weeks back. According to the University of Montana Sports Information Team, the Billings product finished the 2022 season on 3 different All-America lists and is just one of 5 players from the Big Sky Conference named to that Athlon All-American list. As a sophomore last season, he returned 22 punts for 327 yards and 2 touchdowns. His season long was 72 yards versus Portland State. One of those guys, when he gets the ball, look out. Walking playmaker. Bergen had a key moment in the Griz FCS playoff comeback win versus SEMO after he took a punt back 58 yards for a touchdown to tie the game after the Griz trailed by as much as 21 points in the third quarter. That was a legendary Griz moment if you're a Griz football fan. One of the highlights of the season, Bergen's centerpiece for that comeback. He earned second-team All-America honors following last season as a returner from Stats Perform, Phil Steele magazine, and was named to the Hero Sports Sophomore All-America team. He also earned third-team All-Big Sky honors. So the accolades keep on rolling in for Junior Bergen. Like I mentioned, one of those guys that every time he touches the ball is a threat to score. He's a name to watch. Coming into this season, revamped offense. They want to get off to a hot start. I expect to see the Griz really utilize Bergen and his skill set on offense, throw him in multiple roles, let him play a little out of the backfield, design running plays, get him the ball in the short passing game. But it feels like what you want to do is get Junior Bergen more touches heading into this football season, and hopefully he could stay healthy and make a big impact because his potential as a big play threat is one of the top in the Big Sky Conference. One last piece of college football news related to the Treasure State, and then we're going to jump into that Glacier Range Riders talk a little pro baseball here in the Valley. This is a fun one right here that I saw pop up on Twitter from Rocky Mountain College. Former Battling Bear Wes Moeai was recently selected by the Seattle Sea Dragons in the XFL rookie draft. Gotta love that. So we're going to get into that press release a little bit here. Moeai, a 6'3", 315-pound defensive lineman, was a first-team All-Conference member in the Frontier Conference and a second-team All-Conference member in 2021. Moeai totaled 114 tackles, 6 sacks, and 24.5 tackles for loss over 2 seasons with the Battling Bears. He was able to show off his skill set in front of professional scouts in April at Montana State University's Pro Day, where he stood out, recording 33 reps on the bench, which would have ranked him second among defensive tackles at the NFL Combine. Hey, numbers don't lie there. Rocky Mountain head football coach Chris Stutzream had the following to say about his former player. Quote, "I'm very proud of Wes for being selected by the Sea Dragons. It's great to see his hard work pay off and be a professional football player in a great league." Gotta love that, no doubt about it. One last piece from the press release. He is believed to be the first Battling Bear to be drafted into an American Professional Football League, so kudos to him on that accomplishment. Congrats to Wes Moeai on the opportunity to play professional football. It's cool he stayed in the Northwest as well, so I'll have a little bit of a built-in fan base. You know, Griz Nation travels well up this way, so I'm sure there'll be some Seattle Sea Dragons fans looking forward. Excuse me, not Griz Nations, but Montana sports fans in general travel well. We're talking Griz football. It's easy to mix that one up. But Montana sports fans in general travel well up this way. I'm sure they will be happy to root on a Frontier Conference product in the XFL. All right, let's get to that Range Riders talk and wrap this thing up. So, a little pro baseball action. The Glacier Range Riders just closed out another homestand here in the Valley with a 6-4 win over the Great Fall Voyagers last Sunday. The win wrapped up a 6-game set versus the Voyagers at home, and now the Range Riders take a 5-game winning streak into their upcoming road series with the Boise Hawks. So, the Riders have some momentum going. I was out at the game Sunday. They're looking good. They had another comeback win, and that team, they have the pitching, they have the clutch hitting, they have a formula of success. I've talked about that before. It's fun to watch. Both the Range Riders and the Boise Hawks sit at the second place in their respective divisions, with the Glacier Range Riders representing the Pioneer League North, while the Boise Hawks represent the League South division. So it's got the makings of a great series down in Boise, with 2 teams trying to make a run at first place in their respective divisions. Down the stretch, these teams are both hungry. Both won it, and they're going to meet at the right time, so it's going to be fun. Keep an eye out for that series. We'll definitely be recapping that a little bit next week. After their trip to Boise, the Range Riders will make their way to Missoula to take on the Pioneer League North, leading Missoula Paddleheads before returning home to Glacier Bank Park to host the Ogden Raptors for a 3-game set, July 3rd, 4th, and 5th. According to the Range Riders website, all 3 games versus Ogden will include a post-game fireworks show, so you won't want to miss that. Correction here, I believe earlier this season on the show, I mentioned that the Riders were out of town for the 4th of July. That was my bad. They will be here, and there's some fireworks in the valley, so you won't want to miss that. That being said, it was a quick show. It was fast-paced. That's going to do it for this week's episode of the Interlake Sports Now. Next week, we'll definitely check back in on how the Range Riders fared on their road trip and check back in on any Griz or Bobcat football news. Till then, keep on enjoying your summer, y'all, and thanks as always for checking out the latest Interlake Sports Now. I'm Josh Dugan, and I'm out. Today's episode is brought to you by Nomad. Go to the Flathead's best manufacturer. Nomad is a longtime supporter of the local community and sports scene, celebrating 20 years of building great careers and mission-focused custom vehicles. Nomad, a Montana-based company making a global impact. Visit nomadgcs.com for more info. That's nomadgcs.com for more information.